We are your official WildCat and Lady Cat station, KSST 1230 AM Sulphur Springs. It's time for WildCats basketball. Let's go out to the high school gym where tonight's game is covered by KSSU Radio's sports director, Don Julian. Don?
James Terry, thank you very much. And boy, I haven't seen you in a while, James. Hadn't heard from you in a while. It's been like, what, 2 minutes? 2 minutes ago. But yeah, we're ready to get going here pretty quickly. We have about 2 minutes left on the warm-up clock. Both teams warming up, getting ready for this one. We get ready for this exciting ball game. Always exciting when Mount Pleasant's in town. Or if the Wildcats go over there, it's an exciting place to be. I had the opportunity to do that. Went over there last year, enjoyed the game over there at Mount Pleasant. So we're a standing room only in here. A lot of people rimming the walls here as we get ready for our ball game. Mount Pleasant is 1-0 in district play as they defeated Texas High. Seemed like fairly handily. I think they really held them down in the fourth quarter. Wildcats 0-1 after their shocking loss to the Greenville Lions, but in a way shocking, but at the same time, Greenville, a 24-win team that's now ranked number 21 in Class 5A. Wildcats are number 9. This Mount Pleasant team ranked by some, not in the Texas Association of Basketball Coaches ranking that I use, but in some other ranking services. And you know, you pick your service. I guess it depends on how much they think of you. If they like you a lot, that's yours. If they not so much, then maybe you like another one. I just always use TABC. It's really easy to access, and you have to use some standard. They seem to do a pretty good job. And they've reset the clock now, so we're getting ready to get this one underway. And right now, I cannot tell where the microphone is. And they may be trying to find it. No, Mike Lamb had it. Players are kind of lined up like ready for the national anthem. But anyway, we'll be getting underway shortly, and I'm not sure exactly what the delay is right now. Maybe they've misplaced the microphone. Coach Cipolletta pointing at somebody. May going to see if he can find a singer here. But we'll be underway shortly here. Here's Mike Lamb. Maybe, what'd you do with the microphone there, Mike? Here's Clark Cipolletta. And we'll start with a national anthem here. Everybody rises. believe Mike Lamb is now going to do our lineups. He may be trying to find out either who the starters are or how to pronounce some names. I'm not sure exactly what the delay is here.
Thank everyone for coming out today to support Coach Sulphur and the Sulphur Springs WildCat, as well as coming out to honor and show our gratitude to our U.S. troops. At this time, if you are a parent of a soldier, an active soldier yourself, a former soldier, or a sibling to a soldier, could you please stand? As well as some of the student body members, we honor you, we thank you, and at this time, we're going to turn it over to the student body president.
A call to duty is sent out, and the strong and brave reply. They do it for the love of country, so there's no need to ask why. They leave behind all that they love, their families, their homes, and their lives, because to preserve these precious things is the goal for which each soldier strives. So God bless our troops, the courageous women and men who fight to make sure that those with freedom feel again. When you see a soldier, be sure to shake his or her hand and let the soldier know you're grateful for the protection the military affords our land. But most of all, express your thanks for every soldier's personal sacrifice. In order to serve our country, they risk their entire lives.
I believe that was Campbell Cody, who's the student body president here at Sulphur Springs High School.
Psalms 27:1-3. Though an army besiege me, my heart will not fear. Though war break out against me, even then will I be confident. I'm still confident of this. We'll see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait for the Lord, be strong, and take heart, and wait for the Lord. Now we'll have a word of prayer by Minister Chris.
Let us bow for a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we want to take this time, this opportunity to thank our men and women who so courageously put on the uniforms of the armed forces of the United States of America. Lord, we ask that you would continue to put your love and armor of protection around them. We ask that you would watch over them as they are on foreign soil and near to us. Lord, we ask that you would continue to just watch over their families, their loved ones, protect them, lead, guide, and direct them, oh Lord, in the way that you would have them go. And Master, we'll be ever so careful to give you the praise. We ask it all in our Lord and Son, Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Sulphur Springs Gymnasium. representing the Mount Pleasant and Sulphur Springs. And now, for the starting lineups, first our visitors from Mount Pleasant. Starting at guard, 6-foot freshman, number 23, Peyton Chisholm. Starting at forward, 6'4" sophomore, number 1, Will Hill. Starting at guard, 6'1" junior, number 2, Brock Cooper. Starting at guard, 6'1" junior, number 5, Xavion Oko. Starting at forward, 6'5" senior, number 11, Jamarian Brown. The Tigers are coached by Joey Chisholm and assisted by Drew Barker, Bobby Betts, and Carl Turkey. Ladies and gentlemen, now for your Sulphur Springs. Starting at guard, the 6'2" junior, number 3, Boo Wilkerson. Starting at guard, the 6'3" junior, number 2, Roderick Johnson. Starting at guard, the 6-foot senior, number 33, Grayson Lewis. Starting at forward, the 6'6" senior, number 4, Cameron Hall. And starting at forward, the 6'5" senior, number 0, The Wildcats are coached by Clark Cipolletta and assisted by Sean Coleman, Joe Garcia, and Austin Green.
So Mike Lamb with the introductions again for Mount Pleasant. William Hills, Xavion Oka, also Jamarian Brown, Peyton Chisholm, and Brock Cooper. And for the Wildcats, Day Hall, Lamadrick Johnson, Boo Wilkerson, Cameron Kahn, and Grayson McClure. Day Hall will be jumping center for the Wildcats, and he'll be jumping against William Hills, a sophomore. Day has a slight advantage. Referee steps in to put the ball in the air, and Day controls the tip for the Wildcats. Boo Wilkerson across the midline for the Wildcats. Gets it over to Day Hall. Back to Wilkerson. Cross court to Grayson McClure. He's closely guarded. Down to Cameron Kahn, who slashes in and puts the ball in the bucket. They gamble for a steal, didn't get it. Chisholm works it over to Brown. Back to Chisholm. Ball in the hands of Oka. Ball knocked loose for the Wildcats. Back in the hands of Brown. Drives in. Passes off. And an offensive foul is called on Jamarian Brown for Mount Pleasant. Wildcats leading 2-0. 7:25 left here in the first quarter. Ball comes into Lamadrick Johnson in the backcourt. He's guarded there by Oka. LJ across the midline works it over to Cameron Kahn. Kahn stops on the right side looking for some help. Bounces out to Day Hall. He's way out, almost midcourt. Day had a little trouble with the dribble. Knocked loose, picks it up over to Grayson McClure. Almost a bad pass down on the floor. Picked up by Johnson. Johnson drove in and picked up a foul. And that one was on Xavion Oka. His first, team second, non-shooting foul. The Wildcats throw in to our right on the side. Lamadrick Johnson into Cameron Kahn, who has the only basket in the game as Mount Pleasant went for the steal, and he headed to the bucket. Johnson right side. Grayson McClure. Cross court, Boo Wilkerson. Down on the baseline, Day-Day Hall. Hall spinning. Down low, a beautiful pass put in by Lamadrick Johnson. The Wildcats leading 4-0. And here's Chisholm penetrating in, stolen by Day-Day Hall. Hall driving down court, and he picked up a quick foul on Jamarian Brown, and that is already 2 on Brown. 6'4" senior. Non-shooting foul. Wildcats, Lamadrick Johnson will trigger in right at the end of the Mount Pleasant bench into Grayson McClure. Wildcats up 4-0. Johnson. Bounce pass right side, Grayson McClure down low to Cameron Kahn. A pried loose. They fight for the ball, and now we get a jump ball, possession arrow to Mount Pleasant. So back to the black and gold here. And Brown will trigger in to Peyton Chisholm. And timeout taken on the court. 6:12 left in the first quarter. The Wildcats 4 and Mount Pleasant 0. And we'll take a break with them, and we'll be back in a moment. And Brown will trigger in for Mount Pleasant. And the ball comes into Peyton Chisholm, the coach's son, across the midline. And the ball to Hills. And now to Oka. He drives in. And it's stolen, a pass inside. Stolen by Cameron Kahn, but he lost or tried to get it before it went out of bounds, and they say last touch by Cameron. So Mount Pleasant's Oka to throw in. And he triggers it way outside to Jamarian Brown. Here's a 3 on the way. It's off, no good. Good rebound by Cameron Kahn. Boy, they had trouble keeping Greenville off the offensive glass. Lamadrick Johnson drives. He misses the shot, and Mount Pleasant gets the ball, and they're down quickly in transition. Player driving in. Jamarian Brown now kicks it back outside to Oka, and back to Brown. Back to Oka. Penetrates in. Chisholm. Jamarian Brown thought about the 3, and he got called for the double dribble. Got a slight stop in the dribble and then picked it up, and the official said, nope, double dribble. Back to the Wildcats. They lead 4-0. 5:25 left here in the first quarter. The ball into Lamadrick Johnson, closely guarded by Oka. LJ across the midline. Goes around to Kahn screen. Gets it over to Grayson McClure. Back to Cameron Kahn, top of the key. Cameron driving. The ball tipped and stolen by Mount Pleasant. And now the Wildcats steal it back. Day-Day Hall got it into Boo Wilkerson, and then as he came down the court, we had a foul on Mount Pleasant. And this one was on Oka. He now has 2. 2 players with 2 fouls for Mount Pleasant. Oka and also Brown. Johnson across the midline for the Wildcats, slashing in over to Day-Day Hall, top of the key. Day-Day now passes left side to Johnson. Johnson backing up, now heading in, penetrating in, floater, good by Lamadrick Johnson. He's got 4 points. Wildcats leading 6-0 with 4:38 left here in the first quarter. Jamarian Brown over to Peyton Chisholm. Now back to Brown. And Brown hands off to Oka. Here's a long shot, in and out, no good. Rebound Cameron Kahn. That was Brock Cooper with a shot. Just rimmed out. Cameron Kahn driving down. Grayson McClure, the 3. That's no good, but an offensive rebound put up by Day-Day Hall. Wildcats leading 8-0. 4:07 left here in the first quarter. A steal for the Wildcats. B. Wilkerson gets it to Lamadrick Johnson. To Day-Day Hall. He slashes in. Hit the bucket. They called him for a travel. So the basket is overruled. They say Day-Day had to travel to get around the defenders. So the basket is waved off. Wildcats 8, Mount Pleasant 0. 3:55 left here in the first quarter. Peyton Chisholm across the midline. Outside. finds Kebo Hines, who's now in the ball game. A three by Brown. It comes up short. Brown tried to save it in. He did. Cooper drives in. A blocking foul as a collision goes against Cameron Kahn. And 2 shots coming for Brock Cooper. Tough break on Cameron. Not getting the charging call. He gets a lot of those, but did not get that one. For Brock Cooper, 6'1" junior, trying to break the ice here from Mount Pleasant. They've fallen behind 8-0. Cooper eyes the bucket. In and out and in. Tried to come out of there, but a good shooter's touch as Justin Hare checks in. He'll replace Cameron Kahn. And Justin Brock also checks in, and he will replace Grayson McClure. Cooper with another free throw. This one on the way. Missed it, no good. Rebound, Day Hall. 8-1 ball game. 3:29 left here in the first quarter. Lamodrick Johnson. Johnson across the midline. Throws it over to Day Hall. Right corner, Boo Wilkerson. Wilkerson gets it to Day Hall, who now moves into the right corner. Tried to get it down low, stolen by Jamarian Brown, and he drives down. The left-handed layup is good by Brown. And it's an 8-3 ball game, 3:02 left here in the first quarter. Lamodrick Johnson gets it to Boo Wilkerson across the midline. Boo, cross-court pass Johnson. Johnson slashing in, lays it up, missed the shot, and now thrown out by Mount Pleasant and thrown away. And last touch by the Wildcats, it'll be back to Mount Pleasant. Jamarian Brown will trigger in. Stepping in from Mount Pleasant is Devin Williams. So Joey Chisholm is bringing a lot of players, Kebo Hines and Williams in off the bench, along with Brown, Cooper, and also Chisholm. So 3 starters and a couple of new guys. Chisholm on the dribble. Here's a long three. It's an air ball up, no good. But rebound, Mount Pleasant comes down to Williams. And back out to Chisholm. Wildcats leading 8-3, 2:20 left and counting here in the first quarter. Jamarian Brown over to Hines. Hines bounces to the baseline. Williams kicks it out. Chisholm. Here's Hines again. Jamarian Brown slashing in. Tried to get it down low. Knocked back to him. Puts it up. Missed it. And the ball in Boo Wilkerson's hands. He breaks down court. And now Boo heads to the corner. He's double teamed. Got it to Brock. Brock over to Day Hall driving in. Down low. Justin Hare. And he hit the bucket. Beautiful pass. That's a couple good ones by Day. Couple of great assists and good finish by Justin Hare. The Wildcats lead 10-3. 1:36 left first quarter. Here's Kebo Hines with a long three. He got it. And that trims the lead to 10-6 and 1:26 left here in the first quarter. Day Hall gets the ball back to Lamodrick Johnson. He comes across the midline. Lamodrick, right corner. Justin Brock, the long shot. It's off, no good. Day the rebound and lays it up. A reverse layup by Day Hall has 4 points. Wildcats leading 12-6. 1:05 left in the first quarter. Again, Peyton Chisholm drives in, puts up the shot, missed it. Fight for the rebound. Day Hall has it. To Lamodrick Johnson. Johnson heading toward the basket. Driving in, scoops it up and hit it. Beautiful play. Lamodrick Johnson, 6 points. Wildcats leading 14-6. Timeout taken by Joey Chisholm in Mount Pleasant. 42.3 seconds left here in the first quarter. The Wildcats 14 and Mount Pleasant 6. We'll take the break with them and we'll be back in a moment. And the team's coming back on the court here. Wildcats leading 14-6 with 42.3 seconds left here in the first quarter. And Hills is back in there, and he throws it into Chisholm, the point guard, just a freshman. So Chisholm working against Brock. Gets it over to Hills. And there's Hines. Hines penetrating in, now backing out. Over to Hills, top of the key. He'll launch the three, and it's off, no good. Bounces into the corner, picked up by LaModrick Johnson. Closely guarded by Kebo Hines, and they got him for a hand check. Already the 5th foul for Mount Pleasant. The Wildcats have one. 17.1 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and the Wildcats leading 14-6. Grayson McClure back in now. He'll trigger in and gets it to LaModrick Johnson again. Hines very close. And LaModrick across the midline. Gives it off Cameron Kahn on the dribble. The Grayson McClure outside LaModrick Johnson. 6 seconds. Have to shoot quickly. Grayson McClure heads in, puts up the floater. No good. Mount Pleasant the rebound right at the horn, and that's the end of the first quarter for the Wildcats leading Mount Pleasant by the score of 14-6. And we'll take a break, and we'll come back for the start of the second quarter right after this break. Scoring in the first quarter for Mount Pleasant, 3 for Hines, 2 for Brown, and 1 for Cooper. For the Wildcats, 6 for Johnson, 4 for Hall, and 2 for Hare, 2 for Cameron Kahn. Wildcats 14, Mount Pleasant 6 as we get ready to start the second quarter. And Grayson McClure will trigger in for the Wildcats, gets it into LaModrick Johnson. Now being guarded by Kelsey Morris, so yet another new Mount Pleasant player in there as Joey Chisholm going to the bench. Day Hall dribbling outside into the left corner. Grayson McClure back to Hall. Hall drives in. Over to LaModrick Johnson heading in. Almost stolen from him. He got it back. Gets it over to Day Hall. Boo Wilkerson, he'll launch the three. That's off, no good. The rebound tipped to the side. LaModrick Johnson tried to save it, and Mount Pleasant got it, and they're on the run. Player missing the shot, but Boo Wilkerson did not have, he was slipping and didn't have real good balance trying to stop the shot. So Boo will pick up the foul. And heading to the foul line now is Xavier Oka. They've got a Z-man and an X-man. In and out, no good on the free throw by Oka. He'll have another shot. And Oka, a left-handed shooter. This one on the way. In and out, no good. Day Hall. That one's clean now. Day Hall almost had it pass blocked, but he got it back. Throws it to Grayson McClure. McClure slashes in, down low, Cameron Kahn, and then Cameron lost the ball trying to make a move. Somebody from Mount Pleasant probably got a hand on it there, but last touch by the Wildcats, and it'll be Mount Pleasant ball underneath their own basket. Ball ended up all the way the other end of the court. Brown is back in there, and he passes in to Morris. Morris now running the point for the Tigers. Ball comes over to Oka. Cooper drives in. Shot is missed, and a blocking foul. And they're once again going to get Cameron Kahn. He comes up with those hands like, not me again, but it was. That's his second. Clark Cipolletta now quizzing the official about the call. Cooper's free throw is good. Boy, a good shooter's touch as that ball took a trip, but settled in. Cooper is 2 out of 3. Justin Hare checks in to replace Cameron Kahn, who has a pair of fouls. And Brock Cooper, a 6'1" junior, another free throw coming. This one on the way. Got them both. Neither one of them very clean, but good shooter's touch. Has 3 points in the ball game, and Mount Pleasant trims the lead to 14-8. LaModrick Johnson. LaModrick guarded very closely by Morris. Got the ball over to Justin Hare, who was out deep to help him. And a foul. Boy, they're calling him pretty tight on the floor. And that foul I think was on Morris. McClure into Lamadrick Johnson. Right side back to Grayson McClure. The Wildcats up by 6, 14-8. McClure on the dribble, closely guarded. Gets it over to Day Hall. Boy, they are all over players. And now Day almost forced in the backcourt. He threw the ball and Mount Pleasant intercepted it. Here's Cooper with a long shot. It's good on the three. And Cooper has 5 in the quarter, and Mount Pleasant is back to within 14-11. Wildcats leading Mount Pleasant 14-11. 6:22 left in the second quarter. The crowd is clapping like they may have called some kind of something here. Maybe they thought there was some kind of, I don't know. I did not see a technical or taunting or anything like that. So I don't know. Right now they're trying to get to a timeout here. Timeout taken on the, well, let's hold on here. Well, now we're into a break. Let's just keep it right here. There's such confusion. I never saw. There must have been. Well, they're technical fouls, so there had to be some kind of official's call on some kind of unsportsmanlike conduct or something, I guess, after the made three. Because it looks like Grayson McClure is getting ready to go to the free throw line for some technical fouls. After Brock Cooper hit the three. I did not see, of course, officials maybe in this new world as used to, that was a big, real, demonstrative call, but now you can hardly tell when something like that happens. Not always. Grayson McClure is going to be shooting some technical fouls. And he's going to miss that first one. And he makes the second one. And back to play here. So if there was supposed to be, I'm not sure there was ever supposed to be a timeout. I think it was just they were talking over that technical foul. Ball will go back to it'll be Wildcats ball now. And again, the officials over at the scorers table, making sure that the official scores got all the information she needs. Ms. Frazier over there, the official at the scorers table, is satisfied, so we're ready to get back to action. Wildcats 15, Mount Pleasant 11. 6:22 left here in the second quarter. Johnson over to Boo Wilkerson. Across the midline to Justin Hare. Back outside to Lamadrick Johnson. Boo Wilkerson. Boo to Justin Hare. Hare drives in. Gets it over Lamadrick Johnson in the corner. Grayson McClure. Lamadrick Johnson slashing in. A floater. Good by Lamadrick Johnson. He is so good with those floaters. Wildcats leading 17-11. Brock Cooper drives in. His shot is up. Off. No good. Scrap for the rebound. A Mount Pleasant rebounding foul. And the foul was on Hills. And that's already the 7th foul on Mount Pleasant here in the first half. The Wildcats have 3, so Justin Hare will be shooting 1+1 here. Hare has 2 points on a basket that he got in the first quarter. Young sophomore. And his free throw is good. And kind of met a lot of the rim, but it had that shooter's touch in there. Another one coming for Hare. Hare's free throw is off on this one. Wildcats leading 18-11, 5:49 left in the second quarter. Brown over to Chisholm. And the ball back out to Brown. Hargrave is in there now for Mount Pleasant. Chisholm thought about the long three to Jamarian Brown. Outside to Hargrave. And back to Brown. Brown, a long three, in and out, no good. The ball on the floor, Mount Pleasant follow shot is no good. Hills follow shot no good, but a foul on the Wildcats, I believe, on Justin Hare. One fouling one. So Hare with a foul. And William Hills, a sophomore, shooting foul shots for Mount Pleasant, a chance to trim the lead down to 5. This left-handed free throw in and out, no good. And Hills will have another. Mount Pleasant. Another free throw coming. Hills got that one. 1 out of 2, his first point. It's an 18-12 score now. 6-point Wildcat lead. 5:18 left here in the second quarter. Lamadrick Johnson lobs over to Boo Wilkerson. Passes to Grayson McClure. Hills went for the steal and got called for a foul. That'll be the second foul on Hills. Mount Pleasant has 3 players with 2. And here comes Kibo Hines. And he will replace Hills with those 2 fouls. Grayson McClure again, the 9th foul on Mount Pleasant, so 1 + 1, and he got the first one. McClure is now 2 out of 3, has 2 points in the ball game. The Wildcats lead is 7 now at 19-12. A chance to go to 8, and he got it. Wildcats 20, Mount Pleasant 12. 5:10 left here in the second quarter. And Peyton Chisholm across the midline for the Tigers. Left side it goes, Kibo Hines. Here's Peyton Cooper's shot, no good. I'm not sure somebody got a hand on that one or not. Lamadrick Johnson double teamed in the backcourt. Gets it to Day Hall, down to Grayson McClure. Out to Lamadrick Johnson. Lamadrick down low to Justin Hare, and he stuffs it. Beautiful pass by Lamadrick Johnson. Wildcats up 22-12. 4:34 left in the second quarter. Chisholm with the ball for Mount Pleasant. Gives it over to Jamarian Brown. Penetrates in. The floater is no good. And Brown got the charging foul on that one. He's got 3 according to my book, which is not official. So Brown will check out quickly, and back in comes Devin Williams, 6-foot junior. Wildcats leading by 10, 22-12, with 4:24 left here in the second quarter. Day Hall in the backcourt, double team, gets it over to Lamadrick Johnson. Johnson slashing to the bucket, down to Justin Hare, and Hare is getting a good open position, and Lamadrick Johnson is finding him. Wildcats leading 24-12, 4:09 left here in the second quarter. Beautiful assisting by the Wildcats early in this ball game. Ball in the corner, back to Chisholm. Chisholm spins, sends it over to Cooper, and Cooper called for an offensive foul. That's his second. It'll go back to the Wildcats. 10 fouls on Mount Pleasant, 4 for the Wildcats. Justin Hare checks out. And Justin Brock came in. Wildcats break the press. Day Hall slashing to the bucket. And Day, as he made a spinorama move, they say he walked. So a traveling violation on Day. And back to Mount Pleasant. Wildcats leading 24-12, 3:45 left here in the second quarter. Chisholm with the ball for Mount Pleasant. Goes around the screen from Williams, back to Williams. Williams driving in, and more contact, and they're going to get Justin Brock for a block. Crowd does not like that call. No, they got Day Hall. So Day Hall with a foul. That's his first. Wait a minute. No. I don't know what that 0 was. The foul was on Justin Brock, and so that's his first. Chisholm to trigger in for Mount Pleasant. Gets it into Williams. His shot blocked. Or no, that was Hargrave, and his second shot is good for Mount Pleasant. And the lead is 10 at 24-14. Mount Pleasant pressing. The Wildcats break the press. Boo Wilkerson gets it over Lamadrick Johnson. Johnson slashes in, and once again, some tight calling there. And I think the foul was on Devin Williams. Must have been just a hand check or something. And now 2 shots coming for Lamadrick Johnson as the double bonus for the Wildcats, and Lamadrick misses the first free throw. It's his first of the day. He's got 8 points on 4 baskets. Maybe he ought to shoot a floater from the free throw line. This one is good. He got that one, 1 out of 2. Wildcats leading 25-14. 3:15 left here in the second quarter. Chisholm with the ball from Mount Pleasant. Goes around a Williams screen. Chisholm into the lane, puts up the shot and missed it. And the foul on Boo Wilkerson, his second. In the crowd not liking it, but hey, this is Sulphur Springs. That was a Sulphur Springs foul. So Justin Hare checks in, Boo Wilkerson checks out. Boo has a couple of fouls. And Mount Pleasant's Cooper will throw the ball in. Lobs for Williams. Williams gives to Chisholm, guarded by Justin Brock. Chisholm penetrating in. Puts up the right-handed shot. Oh, it rolled out, no good. Day Hall got the rebound, and I think Day was fouled. No, a jump ball they call. Possession arrow to Mount Pleasant. So Mount Pleasant did get the tie-up without a foul. It looked like Day Hall had it and then was grappling to keep it, and then Mount Pleasant got the tie-in, but there was I guess a quick call on the tie-up, but it did end up that way. Both players are having a piece of the ball. And Mount Pleasant will have another substitution here as Hills is back in there. Chisholm to throw in. And now he bounces into Williams. Missed the shot, but got a foul on Day Hall. Foul shots coming. First on Day. And that will send Devin Williams to the free throw line. The Wildcats by 11, 25-14. 2:53 left in the second quarter. Free throw by Williams. Off, no good. I'll tell you, after such emotion in that Greenville game, these officials are really calling this one tight tonight. So there's a lot of fouls. Williams free throw off, no good. Justin Hare with a rebound. Hare in the backcourt, dribbling the ball, gets it over to Lamadrick Johnson. Wildcats leading 25-14. 2:44 left here in the second quarter. Lamadrick steams toward the basket, laid it up and hit it. Lamadrick having a great ball game with 9 points. Wildcats leading 27-14. 2:32 left in the second quarter. Chisholm drives in. Oh, and then the player he was passing to was moving, and so it sails out of bounds. I think that player thought Chisholm was going to put that one up, and so he was already heading in to try to rebound. Ball comes into Lamadrick Johnson. He gets it over to Justin Brock, back to LJ, and he gets it back to Brock across the midline. Back to Lamadrick Johnson. Lamadrick comes in, goes out, throws to Day Hall. Hall slashing to the basket. Over to Justin Brock. No, he backs out of there. 2:04 left here in the second quarter. Wildcats up 27-14. Over to Justin Brock. Day Hall. So Dadrian drives in. McClure for a three. Good by Grayson McClure. His first of the ball game. He's got 6 points. Wildcats leading 30-14. 1:45 left in the second quarter. Chisholm a three. That's off. No good, but a Mount Pleasant rebound by Hills. His follow shot is good. Hills has 3 points. Trims the lead to 30-16. 1:30 left in the second quarter. Wildcats get it across the midline to Day Hall. Hall working against Kebo Hines, and Hines got the foul after he and Day bumped. So Kebo Hines, his second. Boy, I see especially Mount Pleasant has a ton of fouls here. A lot of fouls tonight. Day Hall, a couple of shots here. And this one is off, no good. Wildcats went into the double bonus awfully early here. A good part of this quarter. Another free throw coming for Day, who has 4 points. Has 2 baskets. And Hall's free throw, second one off, no good. Rebound, Mount Pleasant. Came down to Chisholm. Across the midline, Mount Pleasant trailing 30-16. 1:14 left here in the second quarter. This is Kebo Hines. Hines slashing in. Put up the shot and missed it, but a follow shot is good by Hills. That's a couple that he's had on the offensive rebounds for points. He's got 5 points and 2 follow shots for points. Lamadrick Johnson gets it over to Brock. Brock across the midline for the Wildcats. Right side to Hare and back to Brock. Brock on the dribble, heading to the bucket. His layup is good. Boy, they left him a lane and he took it. Wildcats leading 32-18, 37 seconds left in the second quarter. You could just, especially from my angle, you could see that highway open up. And now in the vicinity foul on Justin Brock, again calling this game very tightly, not wanting to let things go when tempers flaring when stuff is not called. In from Mount Pleasant is their X-man, Xavier Brown. And Peyton Chisholm from the foul line. The first one's up and good. I believe that's Chisholm's first point. Yes, it is. His obviously first, or not obviously, but his first trip to the foul line. This one on the way. Got them both, 2 for 2. Makes it a 32-20 game. 12-point Wildcats lead, 31.3 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Lamadrick Johnson working against Peyton Chisholm. And Lamadrick slashing down the court. Gives the ball to Day Hall, back to Johnson. Johnson heads in, heads out. Back to Day Hall. Hall stops the dribble, gets it back to Lamadrick. 10 seconds left. Lamadrick in, spinning. Put up the shot and got it by Lamadrick Johnson. 3 seconds left. Ball comes into Chisholm. A long shot at the buzzer. It comes up short. The Wildcats take a halftime lead of 34-20. A 20-point quarter for the Wildcats. And Mount Pleasant had 14. So it was 14 and 20 for the Wildcats and 6 and 14 for Mount Pleasant. We're at the half and the Wildcats are leading 34-20. And we have another half still to go here of exciting basketball. Always exciting when you get Mount Pleasant and Sulphur Springs together in tiddlywinks. Any sport. It's going to be a barn burner. Well, let's take a break. We'll tell you who scored what in that first half and have more information for you. But right now we're at the half and the Sulphur Springs Wildcats leading the Mount Pleasant Tigers by the score of 34-20. Well, let's take our break and we'll be back in a moment. And Mount Pleasant has not come back to the court yet, but I would imagine they usually hear those horns and realize when they need to get on back here. I guess technically if you were slow enough and took enough time to come out of the locker room, they might hit you with a technical foul. I know in football they'll do that if you don't come out back onto the field in a timely manner. But still waiting for Mount Pleasant to come out of that locker room. Here they come. Wildcats are bringing out Lamadrick Johnson, Day Hall, Boo Wilkerson, Cameron Kahn, and Grayson McClure. And the Mount Pleasant Tigers are back. They're sending out Peyton Chisholm and also Xavion Oka and William Hills, Brock Cooper, and Demarion Brown. So kind of has a feeling of, and it is, the starting lineups for both teams. Boo Wilkerson throws the ball into Day-Day Hall, and the Wildcats start the third quarter. They're up 34-20. And Lamadrick Johnson, the star of the game so far, gets it over to Boo Wilkerson. Wilkerson puts it over to Grayson McClure, left open for a three, and he hit it. Second three for Grayson McClure. He's got 9 points, and the Wildcats lead 37-20. 7:39 to play here in the third quarter. Here's a long shot, missed by Jamarian Brown, and then rebounded by Cameron Kahn. Kahn being dogged in the backcourt, and he comes across the midline and rolls it over, or gets it over to Lamadrick Johnson. Johnson slashes toward the basket, spins, had it knocked back in his face, and gets it out to Grayson McClure. He was open, but he was about 50 feet from the basket, maybe, almost midcourt. And the ball into the corner to Boo Wilkerson. Down to Cameron Kahn, slashing to the basket, and he hit the shot. Wildcats leading 39-20. 7 minutes left here in the third quarter. Peyton Chisholm. Chisholm penetrates in, gets it to Oka, puts up the shot, no good. Cameron Kahn with a good rebound, gets it over Lamadrick Johnson. The Wildcats are running. Lamadrick steams in, down to Day-Day Hole, and the dunk. Day-Day with a dunk. Timeout by Joey Chisholm. The Wildcats start quickly here with 7 fast points. Wildcats 41 and Mount Pleasant 20. And we'll take the break with them, and we'll be back in a moment. And just about back to action here. Mount Pleasant with the ball. And the Wildcats leading 41-20. 6:38 left here in the third quarter. Ball rolled in to Peyton Chisholm across the midline for the Mount Pleasant Tigers for that black and gold. Right side it comes Jamarian Brown. Top of the key, a new player in there is Xavier Brown. We got 2 Browns in there. There's a Cooper. Gives the ball to Oka. Chisholm into the corner to Jamarian Brown. Right side it goes Cooper, and into the corner to Oka. He passes over Brown in. Now and a player goes to the basket and puts it in. Xavier Brown, his first basket. Did a nice Mount Pleasant play after the timeout. They lead 41-22. And Lamadrick Johnson across the midline, guarded doggedly there by Chisholm. Day-Day Hall dribbling the ball. He got it over to Boo Wilkerson. Wilkerson was guarded right into the sideline, and Clark Cipolletta called a quick timeout to make sure that nothing bad happened there. Wildcats leading Mount Pleasant 41-22. 5:39 left in the third quarter. And let's take a break, and we'll be back. Wildcats ball. And Lamadrick Johnson is right in front of the Wildcats bench where he'll throw the ball in. The official took the ball away temporarily and made sure everybody was ready to go. Now it comes into Cameron Kahn and back to Lamadrick Johnson. Johnson to Kahn, into the corner, Boo Wilkerson. Wilkerson over to Grayson McClure for the three, and that's off, no good. Players hitting the deck, and they're going to call a foul on Cameron Kahn. And for Cameron, I show that to be 3. Let's see how Cipolletta plays it, whether he lets Cameron play through this or how he plays it. Again, Mount Pleasant rolling the ball in, bidding maximum use of their time here. Chisholm gives away to Oka, to Brown. This is Jamarian Brown. Brown heading toward the basket, lays it up, missed the shot. Cameron Kahn with the rebound. The Wildcats run down to Grayson McClure. He puts it up and hit the layup. Grayson McClure at full speed has 11 points. And here comes Mount Pleasant down quick to Cooper. Jamarian Brown way back out to Oka. 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Oka slashes in, missed the shot. Battle for the rebound. And last touch by the Wildcats. It'll go back to Mount Pleasant. Just under 5 to play in the third quarter. The Wildcats are leading 43-22 over Mount Pleasant. So Oka to throw the ball in for the Tigers. Jamarian Brown. Brown slashing toward the basket. He's stopped by Day-Day. Kicks it out to Chisholm. Chisholm slashing to the basket. Lays it up. Missed it. Good rebound by Cameron Kahn. That's a man's rebound there, I'm telling you. Over to Day-Day Hall across the midline. Into the corner. Grayson McClure tried to get it down low. Stolen by Mount Pleasant. Good steal there by Xavier Brown. Here's Jamarian Brown. Xavier Brown, the three, off. Day-Day Hall with a rebound. Gets it out Lamadrick Johnson. The Wildcats run. Lamadrick tried to get it down low. Tipped to Boo Wilkerson. He tried to put up a shot and he got fouled. He'll shoot 2. Let's see where the fingers here. And the foul is on. The foul is on Oka. I show 3 on him. Boo Wilkerson to shoot a couple of foul shots. Boo, his first foul shots of the game. Boo's free throw good. That's his first point. You'd say, boy, he hadn't done much, has he? You would not know basketball if you said that. Boo is a defender and does a lot of the little things that don't always make the scorebook. He got both free throws. Wildcats leading 45-22. 4:16 left here in the third quarter. Joey Chisholm with the ball for Mount Pleasant. To Jamarian Brown, top of the key. To the right side it goes to David Smith. It's in there. Smith, a floater. Day-Day Hall slammed it out of there, but they call goaltending. So 2 points for David Smith. (45-24) the score. 4:06 left here in the third quarter. The ball into Day-Day Hall. Ball in the backcourt, guarded by David Smith. Day-Day putting on a dribbling exhibition, then Smith reached out to try to kind of stabilize Hall, and he got on the hand check. First foul on Smith. Non-shooting foul here in the second half. Wildcats leading 45-24. 3:58 left here in the third quarter. Ball into Lamadrick Johnson working against Chisholm. And Lamadrick into the lane, and I think they're going to call Chisholm for a foul. Boy, Chisholm was really working hard to stay up with all of those head fakes and moves by Lamadrick Johnson. And the referee finally called Chisholm for a foul. That's his very first. Johnson to trigger in. Gets it over McClure in the corner, down to Day-Day, into Cameron Kahn. He slashes to the bucket and lays it up and in. Kahn has 6 points, 4 in the quarter. The Wildcats leading 47-24. 3:39 left in the third quarter. Chisholm goes in and hits his shot. First basket by Chisholm. He's got 4 points. And the lead now 21 at 47-26 with 3:26 left in the third quarter. Lamadrick Johnson now being guarded by Kibo Hines. Hines reaches in. Lamadrick continuing to put on the pressure. Now gets it over to Day-Day Hall. Hall dribbling, gives it over to Lamadrick Johnson. Johnson double team. Gives it to Cameron Kahn. Bounce to Day-Day Hall. Slashes in and dunks the ball. Day-Day Hall with 8 points, including 2 dunks. And the Wildcats lead 49-26. Just less than 3 to play here in the third quarter. Peyton Chisholm. Chisholm slashing in. Put up the shot. Missed the shot. Boo Wilkerson is going to get called for the foul. And that is number 3 on Boo. Boo is talking to the official about what he did. It was a brief conversation, it looked like. Peyton Chisholm from the foul line now, shooting a couple. This one on the way, got it, swish. He's a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. Justin Hare checks in to replace Cameron Kahn. Justin Brock in to replace, I'm not sure who Brock replaced. Figure that out. Free throw is off, no good. Good rebound. Day Hall jerked it away to make sure it didn't get tied up. Gives it over to Brock and back to Hall. Down to Grayson McClure. To Day Hall. Hall out to Brock and over to Lamadrick Johnson. Johnson heading in, now backing out. And reset the Wildcats. And Chisholm chasing him every step of the way. Lamadrick trying to go around him. Now does. Bounce pass. Justin Hare. Once again, Hare got good position. A beautiful feed by Lamadrick Johnson. Boy, Hare has had 3 of the easiest buckets he could have because of great assists. Now Payton drives in. He put up the shot. He hit the floor, and I think Day Hall is going to pick up the foul. And I think Day, I'm not sure what he did with the ball, but the official didn't like it, I don't think. And I think he must have teed up Day, something to do with the ball there. I did not see it. I was getting ready to mark my book. A couple of the players talking to one of the other officials, but he wasn't the one that made the call. So obviously Day is going to pick up 2 quick ones. One for the foul, and then something he did with the ball, the official took umbrage. And Payton Chisholm now from the free throw line, and this one is good. Rattled but fell. He's got 6 points. Has 4 of them here in the quarter. Chisholm's free throw got them both. 7 points in the game, 5 in the quarter. And now 2 more for the technical foul. Those were for the foul shots. He got a hot player. Just keep him there drilling those free throws, and he missed that one. The Leprechaun slapped that one off the rim, just like at the old Boston Gardens. Clark Cipolletta likes those Celtics. He probably rented a Leprechaun. Score is now 51-30, and Chisholm now has 6 in the quarter, 8 in the game. Wildcats leading 51-30. Now the ball will go back to Mount Pleasant after the foul and the technical, and now Mount Pleasant has a chance to score again. Chisholm, long 3. That's off, no good. Oh, almost knocked in the basket, and Tebow Hines took a shot and blocked by Day Hall. Lamadrick Johnson came in, then came back out. Gets it over to Cameron Kahn, trying to settle things down a little bit. Kahn down to Hare. Oh, Hare bounced it off his foot and picked up by Mount Pleasant. Here comes Xavier Brown into the corner to Cooper. He slashes in, laid it up, missed it. Cameron Kahn got the rebound. Real nice idea, but just could not finish on it. Back to Lamadrick Johnson across the midline toward the basket. Euro step, good by Lamadrick Johnson. What a game he's having. 15 points. Wildcats leading 53-30, and a 3 rained home by Hines. Tebow Hines has a pair of 3s, and now a backcourt foul on Hines. They send Lamadrick Johnson to the free throw line. That is the 3rd foul on Tebow Hines. That foul pumped him up, but trying to get a steal on top of that. The Wildcats leading 53-33. 57 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Justin Brock in the backcourt. Brock across the midline. Down to Hare, wide open. Oh, they say Hare walked. All he had to do was head to the basket and put it in, but he was beginning to get defensive pressure from Jamarian Brown, and he took an extra step trying to work his way to the basket. Substitution from Mount Pleasant. The officials stopped the inbound play, and Hills checks back in for Xavier Brown. Now the ball again rolled into Chisholm. 47 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Wildcats by 20, 53-33. Chisholm drives in, lost the ball, picked up by Cameron Kahn. He finds Justin Brock. Rock to Grayson McClure. Lets the traffic go by. Rolls it, or got it over to Cameron Kahn to Lamadrick Johnson in the corner. McClure now backs all the way to the midcourt line. 24 seconds left in the third quarter. Lamadrick driving, spinning, laying the ball and hit it off the glass. What a beautiful game for Lamadrick Johnson. Not seen him look this good maybe since Pleasant Grove. Chisholm drives into the corner it goes to Hines. Oh, they left him open for the three, and he got it. He made them pay for leaving him wide open, and that's going to do it for the third quarter. After three, the Wildcats of Sulphur Springs 55 and Mount Pleasant 36. Wildcats had a 21-point quarter, and Mount Pleasant had 16. Wildcats leading 55-36. Let's take a break here. We'll come back with the fourth quarter right after this. Wildcats 55, Mount Pleasant 36. Mount Pleasant will have the ball as we start the fourth quarter, and the ball from Hargrave comes in to Kelsey Morris. Morris bounces it down low to Hills. Kicks it out to Kebo Hines. And around to Hargrave. Slashing in, a floater, no good. Fight for the rebound. It was knocked all the way back out to Hines. His pass tipped and stolen by Day Hall. And he gives it to McClure and back to Hall. Hall now getting the attention of Hargrave across the midline on the dribble. Holding the ball high, gives it over Lamadrick Johnson. Steaming in, went right past everybody and laid it in. 19 points by Lamadrick Johnson. What a wonderful game. He won't forget this one. Wildcats leading 57-36. 7:11 left in the fourth quarter. Drive to the basket. They called a foul down on the floor as I think Cameron Kahn got the foul. That's foul number 4. The basket did not count. It went in, but the official said it was on the floor. Kahn now checking out. I think he has 4 fouls. I do not think he fouled out. Here's a bounce down low to Hargrave. He kicks it out. Jamarian Brown. Brown slashing in. Put up the shot. He got it. Nice offensive move. Brown has 4 points. He's had a hard time scoring tonight. 57-38, 6:54 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Boo Wilkerson across the midline to Lamadrick Johnson. Lamadrick slashing toward the basket. Heads in. Over to McClure in the corner. Out to Justin Hare. Hare dribbles. Made some help there. Got it to Grayson McClure. Back to Hare. Hare toward the bucket. He stuffed the ball. Hare got by the defense and put the stuff in there. Wildcats leading 59-38. 6:21 left here in the fourth quarter. Jamarian Brown drives in. Oh, a beautiful shot. Banked. Brown now has 6 points and 4 in the quarter. Wildcats leading 59-40. 6:09 left in the fourth quarter. Ball in the hands of Lamadrick Johnson. Lamadrick slashes in. Euro step. He got the bucket. Oh my, he is unstoppable. 21 points for Lamadrick. Mount Pleasant back down on the other end. Player penetrating into the corner. Hines missed this one. Boo Wilkerson the rebound. Wildcats leading 61-40. 5:41 left in the fourth quarter. Lamadrick Johnson, what a game. Drives in. Spins and lays it in. Oh my. I think we're living Lamadrick's dream here. Timeout taken by Mount Pleasant. Wildcats 63 and Mount Pleasant 40. 5:25 left in the fourth quarter. And we'll take a break here and we'll be back in a moment. And back to play now. Mount Pleasant with the ball. Wildcats leading 63-40 with 5:25 left here in the fourth quarter. Ball in the hands of Kelsey Morris, running the point for Mount Pleasant. He penetrates to the baseline, kicks it back outside to Hines. Hines slashes in, puts up the shot, missed it, but a foul is called. 2 shots coming. Justin Hare, I think. Yes, one finger. Pointer finger, by the way, I quickly say. That's the second foul on Hare. So Kibo Hines shooting foul shots here. This one on the way, swish. It's his first foul shot. He's got 3 threes in the ball game, so he has a total of 10 points. Chisholm checks in for Mount Pleasant. And Cooper's in there. Jamarian Brown. Free throw on the way. Hines got both of them. He's got 11. The lead is 21, 63-42 with 5:13 left here in the fourth quarter. Lamadrick Johnson. What a game. Lamadrick across the midline. Double team. Gets it over to Grayson McClure. Double teaming him. Make him give up that ball. Day-Day Hall's got it outside the arc. Day-Day slashing toward the bucket. Gets it over to McClure and back outside Lamadrick Johnson. Heads in, a floater. That one's short. Rebound to Cooper. Here comes Mount Pleasant on the run. Into the corner. Hines heading in. Put up the shot. Missed it. Mount Pleasant. Hines got his own rebound. Kicks it outside. Long shot. Cooper in and out. No good. Rebound. Day-Day Hall. Hall guarded by Jamarian Brown. He's across the midline. And over to Grayson McClure. McClure, top of the key for the Wildcats. Over to Lamadrick Johnson, guarded by Chisholm. Gives it to Justin Hare. Into the corner, McClure, and out to Boo Wilkerson. And back to McClure, the 3. Off, no good. Day-Day, the rebound. Slashes toward the bucket. The ball pried loose. Day-Day hustled and got it back. And then Chisholm chasing the ball, I think picked up a foul, and he was trying to argue his case, I think, but the official not buying. Second foul for Chisholm. On the loose ball, trying to get that thing under control. Grayson McClure will trigger the ball in. The Wildcats have 6 fouls, and Mount Pleasant has 5, so neither team in the bonus right now, but Wildcats on the verge of giving it to Mount Pleasant. There's a lob in to Day-Day Hall. Gets it over Lamadrick Johnson. Oh, a hand check. Oh, man, right in front of the official. You'll see that all day. Hand checks are something, I think there's an emphasis in basketball on those. Maybe has been for some time. 3 fouls on Chisholm. Timeout taken. 3:54 left in the fourth quarter. The Wildcats 63, Mount Pleasant 42. And let's take a break with them. Back in a moment. And the Wildcats with a 63-42 lead over Mount Pleasant. 3:54 left here in the fourth quarter. Wildcats try to go 1-1 in district play, and they would also put themselves into a tie with Mount Pleasant also at 1-1. Unless this one really turns sour in a quick effort. Across the midline for the Wildcats. The Wildcats appear to be taking out some air now. Wilkerson into the corner. Justin Hare. Back out to Wilkerson. Gives it to Day-Day Hall, and he kicks it to Lamadrick Johnson, who throws to Boo Wilkerson. He's double teamed and got it to Day-Day Hall. Hall's pass was tipped, and he got it and stuffed the ball. Day-Day has had 3 dunks tonight. He's got 10 points. And the Wildcats leading 65-42. Chisholm driving in, scoops it up, no good. Boo Wilkerson got the rebound over to Lamadrick Johnson. Lamadrick on the run, all the way through, lays it up, missed it. Justin Hare, the rebound, no good. And a good rebound, Jamarian Brown. Here comes Mount Pleasant in a big hurry. Brown's pass intercepted by Boo Wilkerson. Ahead to Lamadrick, ahead of the field, and he left it for Day-Day for a dunk, who missed the dunk. The Wildcats got the rebound, but they throw it to Cooper. And here's Chisholm driving down, blocked by Justin Hare, but a follow shot is good by Brock Cooper. I think Clark Cipolletta has seen enough of NBA garbage time here is beginning to look like. As the basket by Cooper Wildcats leading Mount Pleasant 65-44. And let's take the break here as we're late in the fourth quarter. We'll be back in a moment. Again, the Wildcats 65, Mount Pleasant 44. 2:44 left to go in the ball game. Wildcats have the ball. Wilkerson into Lamadrick Johnson. Lamadrick in the backcourt being double teamed. Gets it over to Wilkerson across the midline. Cameron Kahn to Day Hall. Back to Boo Wilkerson to Lamadrick Johnson. He and Boo play catch out front. Now Day down below Cameron Kahn. He lays it in. And Kahn with 8 points. The Wildcats leading 64-47. 2:20 left here in the third quarter. Long three by Mount Pleasant. An offensive rebound, and the follow shot is good. Nice effort by Kelsey Morris. And a 21-point Wildcats lead at 67-46. Lamadrick Johnson to Day Hall. He throws to Lamadrick. Oh, a big collision. 3 players down on the court. Cameron Kahn collided with 2 Mount Pleasant players, and everybody is checking their wits right now. Boy, that was a fierce collision there. Players hitting the floor like 10 pins in the old-fashioned bowling alleys where they used to have the pin setters. There was a foul called, and Lamadrick Johnson is heading to the free throw line. Nobody could see that because of all those other 3 players hitting the deck. Lamadrick's free throw swish. .24 points for Lamadrick Johnson, 70-46, the Wildcats lead. Long shot, Cooper is off, no good. Day Hall with a rebound. In the final 2 minutes now, Wildcats with a 24-point lead, 70-46. Steal! And Mount Pleasant missed the shot. Boy, hustling player Kelsey Morris. You don't tell this freshman that this game's over. He's playing like it's a tie ball game. He is really hustling out there. He just made his first basket and then picked up a steal. And he's at the foul line, so he will be shooting 2 shots. Kelsey Morris. Free throw, good. Swish. He's, like I say, freshman. A future star, I guess, for this Mount Pleasant team. Probably going to have to earn it on a good team. Free throw, missed that one. Battle for the rebound, and Day Hall comes down with it. Wildcats leading 70-47. Down to Lamadrick Johnson. He spins, but lost control this time. Morris, long pass to Jamarian Brown. He let Cameron Kahn get up in the air, missed his first shot, but his follow shot was good. So Brown now has 8 points, 6 1/4. The Wildcats a 21-point lead as we now have Caleb Alexander in the ball game. And now the ball is stolen. And the shot is put up by Oka, and he hits the basket. His first basket of the game. Wildcats by 19 at 70-51 in the last minute here. Cameron Kahn in the backcourt. Boy, he's got about a foot height advantage over Morris there. Now down to Caleb Alexander. He's double teamed, stolen by Mount Pleasant. But it's stolen back by Boo Wilkerson. Long pass, Day Hall. Hall to Cameron Kahn, and he laid it in. Cameron Kahn with 10 points, 72-51 with 36 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Oka into the corner. Cooper a long shot. Off, no good. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch, Mount Pleasant. And it'll go back to the Wildcats with 28.5, all that's left here. And the Wildcats leading 72-51. I don't know who those guys were that played Greenville the other night, but these guys look familiar. These are the Wildcats I remember. Well, everybody has an off night. Lamadrick Johnson in the backcourt. Comes across the midline, heading to the basket. He got squeezed by a couple of defenders. And the foul on Oka. I show him to have 4. He's heading to the bench like he just fouled out. So a foul out by Oka. He had 2 points tonight. Got that right before that 5th foul. Lamadrick Johnson's free throw no good. Cameron Kahn with a rebound. and he spun, missed the shot. Jamarian Brown, 15 seconds left to go. Down to Oka. He steps back and hit the three. I thought he just checked out. Did I get the wrong number? That was him. He just hit a three. I thought he had checked out of the game. And that's going to do it. The Wildcats defeat Mount Pleasant 72-54. Mount Pleasant had an 18-point fourth quarter, and the Wildcats had 17, so they actually got outscored, but they had a huge 19-point lead, and they ended up winning by 18. Wildcats 72, Mount Pleasant 54. So again, the Wildcats now go 19-7 for the season. Mount Pleasant slips to 23-3 because they really had a gaudy record coming in to this one. And the Wildcats go to 1-1 in district play. Mount Pleasant also 1-1 after beating Texas High to open district play. The Wildcats, of course, losing that ball game over in Greenville. And next for the Wildcats will be Texas High, and that'll be coming up on Friday, and that'll be again a back-to-back with the Lady Cats. Lady Cats at 6:15, the Wildcats at 7:30, unless it's tonight, like tonight, and it starts at 8 o'clock. But that's the way it goes. We'll add up all the scoring. We'll tell you who scored what. And let's take a break and do that, and we'll be back to wrap this one up. The Wildcats beat Mount Pleasant 72-54. Back in a moment. Well, somehow, some way, I managed to drop 2 points. Probably in that scoring flurry right down the stretch there, but I don't know who it came from. I will get it before we put our story online. I'm not going to file something that their books don't balance, but I've only got 70 for the Wildcats instead of 72, and I don't think I can figure it out real quickly because I looked at everything pretty carefully, and I'm doing it again, and I still don't see it. Let's give you what I have, and then somebody's going to have 2 more points. The top scorer for Mount Pleasant was Kebo Hines. He had 11, and several players had 8. Brock Cooper had 8 points. Jamarian Brown had 8 points, and Peyton Chisholm had 8 points. And then it drops down to, looks like 5 points for William Hills, 5 points for Xavier Oka, and 3 points for Kelsey Morris, and then 2 points for David Smith, Xavier Brown, and Jamel Hargrave, for a total of 54. Mount Pleasant had 6, then 14, then 16, and 18. So their offense started off slowly, but improved throughout the ball game for a total of 54 points. For the Wildcats, and they're 72, and again, I'm 2 off, and I do not know how I missed it. But probably in the flurry of things, I just didn't mark it. We'll start the leading scorer. My goodness, how could talk about anybody else in this one? Lamadrick Johnson, an incredible ball game, 24 points. And he was just unstoppable. When they tried to guard him one-on-one, he just broke down. That didn't matter. They tried several different players, and it did not matter. And Euro steps and going through players, and incredible. 24 points for Lamadrick Johnson. A couple of players had 11. Grayson McClure had 11 with a couple of threes. 11 points for Justin Hare, who had one of his better games we've seen. But he was the beneficiary of several beautiful assists, and he did the good job of catching the ball and putting it in the bucket. So 11 for Hare. Then 10 points for Day Hall. 10 points for Cameron Kahn, the 2 seniors. And then after that, quite a bit of fall off. Boo Wilkerson, 2 points, and Justin Brock for 2 points. And that's scoring for the Wildcats as they take a 72-54 win here in the gym. And again, 19-7 on the season, 1-1 in district play. And next for the Wildcats again will be in Texas High, their 3rd district game, as they will go on the road, always a tough place, And so they'll be playing Texas High, and we'll be bringing you that to you on Friday night. Lady Cats at 6:15 and the Wildcats at 7:30. So let's go ahead and wrap this one up. Another wonderful, excuse me, another in the long series of rivalry games between Mount Pleasant and Sulphur Springs. And the Wildcats get the better of them this year by the score of 72-54. And when, may you ask, will be the rematch over in Mount Pleasant? The correct answer to that would be February the 7th. So February the 7th, they'll be over in Mount Pleasant for the rematch. So James Terry again running the spots back at the station. Doug Haston, the engineering, made everything click tonight. And a great job as always of videotaping the game. Got some, we had some, the guy from Jesuit that was doing some scoring based on our streaming, and he was very complimentary of Doug's product. I'm Don Julian with your play-by-play, and once again our final score here from the main gym on the campus of Sulphur Springs High School. The Wildcats of Sulphur Springs 72 and Mount Pleasant 54. And we thank you so much for joining us this evening, and so long everyone.
Thank you, Don. You've been listening to Wildcats basketball on KSS 212:30 AM Sulphur Springs. We'll go back to good time oldies after this message from UIL.